Joining me now is Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking member of, as I mentioned, the House side of this, the Intelligence Committee there. Congressman Schiff, thank you for your time tonight.
You bet.
On the dossier, your committee also wants to talk. How do you get someone with his background abroad to talk at all?
Well, we've made outreach to Mr. Steele, and we've offered Mr. Conway and myself to go out to London to sit down with him if that's a more comfortable way for him to participate and provide whatever information he can to the committee. I hope he will take us up on that. But that would certainly be one way that we could accomplish this. But we're open to any possibility in it, whatever form he's willing to cooperate with us.
And Senator Burr, in this briefing today, he referred to this entire Russian advertising effort as, quote, indiscriminate. Do you look at it that way, as something that was just all over the place? Or can we say, based on the public information and the leaks, that it had more of a focal point?
Well, I don't think you can say, even with respect to the advertising, that it was that the Russians were equal opportunity dividers. Certainly a lot of the ads on Facebook were very divisive. But a lot of the ads that they chose, the issues they chose to exploit, were ones I think that the exploitation of that was to Donald Trump's benefit. And, you know, to give you one illustration, for example, if they did ads of Muslims for Hillary, and they were targeted at people that had shown a concern about the Muslim Brotherhood, for example, that would be designed to push people away from Hillary Clinton. Now, on the surface, they might look neutral, but in their targeting, they might have a very pointed effect. I'd also say that we haven't paid much attention to the ads on Twitter, that is publicly, but the ads on Twitter, the RT ads on Twitter, were almost uniformly anti-Clinton. So they were pushing stories about Hillary Clinton's health, or pushing stories about how close the Clintons were to indictment, or pushing stories about dissatisfaction with Hillary by the Bernie supporters. So among the Twitter ads, they were quite uniformly anti-Clinton.
Those are the ads that RT purchased?
Those are ads that RT purchased. That is, that RT chose certain stories that it wanted to push out to the American electorate during the election that were profiled on RT. And those, I think you look at them and you have to conclude, no, there was a clear design in these ads. With Facebook, I think we have to go beneath the surface to look at how they were targeted to get at the Russian intentions. Again, the advertising also is just one subset of what the Russians did. We have to look at the content that they were pushing out, the stories that they were pushing out, the Twitter trends they were trying to create. And I think that we have a lot more work to do, both to uncover the breadth and depth of that, as well as just who they were going after and how they were trying to manipulate our voters.
And you're basically saying that while you and Burr both see ads or content that mentions Clinton and Trump, he's reading that as perhaps helping both of them. And you're saying the bulk of the Russian-backed ads referencing Trump were helpful to him, and the ones referencing Clinton were false flags trying to still help Trump?
I think if you look at a representative sample of the ads on Twitter, the RT ads, the 430,000 or so expenditure that RT made, those you have to conclude just on the surface were designed to hurt Hillary Clinton's campaign. On Facebook, I think probably the majority of ads were issues that sought to exploit the divisions within the United States. And you have to look beyond the superficial appearance of the ad to the targeting of the ad to figure out who they were trying to move in what direction.
And that targeting, Congressman,
yes.
Based on what we're learning, do you think that was the kind of expertise, detail, and nuance that the Russians needed American help to do?
Well, that's the million-dollar question here. Was the sophistication such that it couldn't really have been done without the data analytics of the campaign? And on that, we simply don't have a conclusion yet. But I will say this, I do agree with my colleagues in the Senate that the evidence we have seen on the intelligence community's assessment, which includes the Russian motivation of hurting Hillary and helping Trump, the evidence we have seen to date is supportive of the intelligence community's assessment. I haven't seen really anything to contradict it. And now we're not done, but we've come a long way, I think, in that area of our investigation.
A busy day for all intel issues on the Hill. So, Congressman Adam Schiff, ranking member of House Intelligence, I really appreciate you spending time.